Let me just go ahead and want to start the recording. Um, oh well, it's fine. Jimmy, thank you very much for responding, and I hope you find this session interesting. Because it's not only going to be about the essential, the very basic of remoting that PowerShell provide for you, but also the tools that we have now available. And that's more likely what I'm going to show in between the code. And of course, thanks to my sponsors. And nice. All right, Jimmy, thank you very much. Yeah, well, I'm gonna show you a couple things in there with PowerShell Studio. It's my favorite product. I've been using just before it became PowerShell Studio. As a matter of fact, I have used Sapien's product from way back. So you guys understand, I've been a PowerShell MVP for 7 years, and I've been using PowerShell since 2006. So you can tell there's been a lot of time coding in this scripting language, which you can tell right now it's also a programming language in one sense. .NET scripting language. So you work with all the .NET class that is available that you can integrate into scripting. For example, I know that Zapata knows this. You can add the snapping for SharePoint in your PowerShell code, and then you have access to all the .NET classes of SharePoint in your PowerShell code, and you can expose anything that is available to you through the .NET framework. Just in case you care to write me, here's my contact information. Feel free to, and I answer my emails. And if something that I don't know, I will guarantee you I'll find somebody who might give us the right answer if you have any questions. And definitely, I'll just go straight to what we want to do here. So let me just stop presenting here for now. All right. Well, just because you talk about PowerShell Studio, I'm glad to say that finally PowerShell Studio it's running on PowerShell version 5. Okay. So if you haven't upgraded to the current version, I suggest you to do so. Okay. This is a great tool to use, and it is for those who want to do advanced scripting, PowerShell scripting. This is the editor to have. Other than that, using PowerShell ISE is just a basic. Is to starter is good, but when you start doing advanced scripting, you might want to use an editor such as Sapien's PowerShell Studio. Okay, so I suggest you if you haven't upgraded to the latest version, do so. Okay, because it's now runs PowerShell version 5, and as you can see here. Oh, wait a minute, guys, can you see my screen? I think I lost the screen. Hold on a second. Let me get back to the screen here. Sorry, guys. Looks like apparently I lost the screen. So let me backtrace myself in here. Okay. And by the way, let me just go ahead and do this. I want to make sure we have the comparison between them. Yep. There you go. Let me clear this thing. By the way, I don't use ISE. So my editor of choice is Sapiens Technology PowerShell Studio. But because Microsoft provide with a free Windows integrated environment. I want to show it to you here. This is, of course, on version 4 and 5. The PowerShell ISE has improved a lot, but a lot to help all the beginners to start using PowerShell. As your scripting goes more advanced, working with modules and functions, modules, you definitely would like to take a look at the PowerShell Studio from Sapien Technology. It's a very good product. And as you can see here, I'm pointing here to it shows version 5, version 2, 64, 32-bit, and then at the bottom here, the object browser. You see all the modules that comes that it's installed on my Windows 7 SP1, but now because I'm using PowerShell 5 preview, now it's showing on my object browser on my Sapien technology. So this is a very, very, very good product to have. Other than that, of course, it give you the benefit. I mean, the flexibility that you can create Windows scripts with this. Meaning, I'll show you an example here quickly. I got here a PowerShell screen that will let me adjust, change my network settings from cable, wireless, or do an auto sense of whatever is active. It will connect to my company network. Behind the scene is all PowerShell. Okay. As you can see here, Domino network adapter to give you an idea. And then here all the conditions of the network connection statuses. So you can build solutions in Windows in PowerShell, and you can also deploy it and create an exe file out of it, which is this product is great. So imagine in .NET developer environment, you have the console apps and you have the Windows app. The console app is a straight plain non-GUI script. Then you have the Windows apps, which in PowerShell, through this PowerShell Studio from Sapien Technology, you can build productive, efficient Windows with scripting, and then you can build your exe out of it too, which is great. Okay. But now also, just to give you one, I end up a head start here with the editors. We do have now Visual Studio, right? So now Visual Studio had these add-ons for all three Visual Studio versions, meaning 2012, 2013, and in 2015. On 2013 and 2015, there's a community version, which is full developer tool, free, okay? And you can add more extensions to it, and in this case, I have already an extension for PowerShell. Let me see if I can look for it in here. There it is. Okay, so you can add the snap-in, this snap-in tool, so you can also code PowerShell inside your Visual Studio, right? So 2013, you can install it. 2015 Visual Studio also Community Edition is available. One of the benefits for this is that, like, if you have a subscription to Azure and you want to activate that, Azure give you a free area where you can save your code. And this is just right here, and under Team Explorer, I have my solution that connects, and I can create and save my source code. Doesn't matter now what, right? It's .NET, C#, VB, now PowerShell, Python. I mean, you name it. Now you can. This is the whole total environment tool. Now, there have some limitation, of course. Like if you want to build, modules and functions, then what you need, but you can still save it in here. But what you need to do is you can right click, and when it says here for that code that I have saved in my Visual Studio, and you want to use a more efficient, more advanced editor, you can change that. You can open with, and then if it's not showing in here, because I think I updated this one, you see you have PowerShell ISE as the default editor, right? But if I want to add my PowerShell Studio, I can go ahead and look for it. My drive's getting full. I can look for it. I think it's under 64-bit, and we'll go down. PowerShell Studio, PowerShell Studio, and then I look for the exe that runs it. And there it is. And I save it. It shows there, and then I can do okay. Now I'm going to edit this file that is in Visual Studio. I can go ahead and open with PowerShell Studio and make my changes, and this gets saved back into Visual Studio and back into in this case I'm using Team Foundation Server, and gets saved in that repository. Okay, so you can always use your tools within Visual Studio. That's the point I want to make this. Okay, in this case this is a code for reading an XML and do changes. Okay. By the way, if you didn't know, you are using Visual Studio, Jimmy. Under option give you a lot of flexibility here. If you go to the editor, and let me see. Oh, wait a minute. General. Okay. Like if you're able to open multiple instances of Sapien's PowerShell Studio, here it is. There's allow multiple instances. That way you can open multiple copies of the application if you're working for multiple files. Okay, so this is a good option there. Okay, so let me close this. All right. So I give you a little bit runabout on the editors here, how the flexibility and everything. I mean, you use your tools. Use your tool, and now that Visual Studio is capable of is more advanced, allow you to run PowerShell. You can even debug PowerShell from within. Then you can go ahead and oh, thank you very much, Adnan, for providing the link. I just noticed that. Thank you very much. Yeah, so let's in this case I have a Visual Studio PowerShell script that integrates with my SQL Server integration services. And this is code with code. I mean, let's put it in here. Let me just open the demo. This one here. This is tool for application. Visual Studio tool for application is run a C# code. And if I edit the script, I want to show you what contains. This is all the possibilities you can do with PowerShell, integrating it into a .NET or a SQL solution in this case. And as you can see here, give you a couple of code snippet of how you can integrate text, PowerShell text into a .NET C# code. Here it is. There you go. And let me increase the size in here so you can see more likely. This is just straight string into it that I'm adding. And then if you have a file already working that is working, then this one will show you a file that's already working and you just want to integrate into a .NET language. That's the way to do it. There's some things that need to be in place for that to work, but we'll give you an idea of the possibilities. And of course, this is a solution that you can using SQL Server agents, you can save, schedule, and run it at a certain time. So besides using the SQL Server task scheduler, because that's another way. Okay. All right. So going back into our original, I kind of reversed the order here a little bit. I went into the tools, and now I'm going to go into the remoted code. We got a couple things in here that I want to show you, right? First of all, let me go. Where is the scripting? It's Visual Studio what I'm looking for. There you go. Okay. So as you know, this essentials commandlets give information about the system, right? So let's say get process, but let's go straight to what I want to do here. I want the computer name, right? Computer name, you type a computer name, and you definitely know that when you do the I'm not supposed to do that. Let's see. When you do the okay, everything that is local computer, right? We need a local computer, and I'm gonna highlight this. Execute selection, and let's see the output. What it comes down to, command window, just output. There is no error, but let's do it this thing the right way, right? Okay. Come from VBScript, that everything you put a dot, it means it's local, right? But of course, we don't need to do that if we just assume that it's local, right? Get process, press enter, and that's our local. This has come from my local machine, my Windows 7, right? Now, one of the essentials remoting, of course, is because you have the computer name, and I'm going to query one of my servers. And I'm going to press enter. It made a connection to my one of my app servers that I have on the network, and it's giving me the process information. This is basic. Very essential. Most of the command, there's a good number of commandlets in PowerShell that have the dash computer name. Hold on a second. Sorry for that. Okay. Let me clear this up and this. Okay. All right. Okay. So I could do easily from the PowerShell commandlet and change the computer name, and we'll go to that computer name and bring me the result back. Okay, so that's one way of saying it. Keep in mind that the purpose of PowerShell is to do your work from your desktop, not to go sneakernet into your server and run commandlets there. You can run everything from your machine. Of course, there are certain things that need to be in place, and one of them will be, let's show you here. One way you need to do is, there's one command in here that might need to run on the server, and it's this quick WinRM quick config. This, more likely, you will need to run it on older OSs, meaning 2003, maybe 2008, 2012 was already on and greater, just because they want to make sure that when you build a server, all the connectivity for remoting is already enabled for you to use. So in this case, my server that I was connecting to is SQL 03. I want to see what version of what OS version it is, right? So I'm gonna type it in here. What is the I have a chip in here, so let's see if I can get it in here. I got it on this one here. Okay, and we got, there you go. Let me copy this one. Yep. And I'm gonna do that computer. Right. This is all from my desktop computer. And I'm gonna do. Sorry, I'm used to put everything in double or single quotes. And I press enter, and this comes back. Okay. It's a corporation. It's like, oh, this is not what I want. So let me just change this thing to. Computer. There you go. Look at that. So we got it's a client. I have the computer system information here, operating system. Now you can see here, operating system. They gave me the whole thing, right? So I just make sure. I want to make sure it shows what it really is. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna create a variable because there's more than that. It's normally commandlets will give you a default information. It will display the default information, not everything. There's more information than just those lines. So I'm going to do this. Everything as format list. Let's do an exploration on the object. Let's see. Okay, I have more than those few lines that you can see in here. What I'm looking for is type PrimalXML. Okay. They just go ahead and do this one. Type of T. No, that doesn't even much information. Let's look for more. Caption. There it is. Whoa, it's on the caption. Right? So here we are. So that's my SQL Server 03 is running Windows Server 2003 Enterprise Edition. That's basic remoting, very basic remoting just through the commandlets. Okay. Now before this is automatic. Okay, this is you have your permission to connect to the server, and the commandlet will let you connect, and you'll get the response back. There's another way that you can connect to the server beside remoting, and that will be using the PS session. This one here. And And there's one trick I'm going to show you here first. Okay? This this commandlet, enter PS session, will require a computer name and a credential. If you notice up here, I'm automating that part. I'm building it. You can use credential, and then it will pop up. You need to use the get credential commandlet in order to fill in domain, user, and password. But you can provide that through code and then build it beforehand without prompting you anytime to enter your domain and user ID and password. So this will be the block of code. And I'm going to do this here. Okay, there you go. Expand this a little bit. This is useful code. So you provide the domain and username, and then you go ahead and create, you put in the password. Oh, word of advice, password, I would recommend you the string to put it in single quote, just because this way, if you have any special character like $sign or exclamation sign, it will be ignored. So when you work with strings for password purpose, you're better off putting it in single quote. Okay, so domain, username, password in single quote, and then this new object type system management automation PS script does the same thing as the get credential, except you're already providing it through .NET code. And then the argument, of course, is passing the username and password. It will create my credential, and then what happens is that when you submit this information, the next two lines with the computer name and plus the credential, if everything goes well, you'll connect. So let me just go ahead and provide, I can't show you that part of the username and password, right? So let me just go ahead and build it here in a minute here so you can see what we can do with it. And then I'll provide a password. Then I'm going to go ahead and, sorry guys, I gotta move my console. And I gotta copy paste the code to my console. Also, I wanted to use the Azure part because I won't really mind about sharing ID and password. But in this case, I gotta do it this way. So I'm running the code, copy. And then I'm going to go ahead and then after I ran that block of code that created my credentials, now I'm ready to submit my enter PS session. Okay, here we go. And this might be giving me an error. If you give me the error, that's a good thing, because then we need to run. I haven't tried that. Try it on the other one. We'll see. Let's see what's going to happen. It will be up, and there you go. There you go. Enter PS session will connect to the server, and it will prompt. The prompt will come up, tell me the name of the server and where I'm at. When I do the IR, as you can see, I'm on the other server directory. Okay, I can do all the commandlets like get that PS drive just to see what I have there. And as you can see in here, okay, I got all the drive that's available there. It's connected. I can go ahead and do service from here. Adding the computer name, and I'm right on that server. In fact, that's one application that runs on that application on that server. So I can keep working on that server remotely on those folders and directory. Matter of fact, let me see what does it comes in here. env for environment dot column username. And as you can see, even the environment variables is displaying it from that server. You know what? Let's try this. Assign PS version table. Aha! Okay, look at this. 2.0. Let me open another PowerShell console. Assign PS version table. So you can see here, after I got connected to that to my other server, which is an older server, it's a 2003 OS, it tell me, okay, I'm running on PowerShell version 2, and I'm running and querying from my PowerShell version 5. This is great. This is great. The only thing to keep in mind is when you run a script, if you upgrade it to version 4, version 3, 4, or 5 of PowerShell, and you have a script built at that level, there's differences in behavior when you run it. Of course, building on version 5, you're going to run on version 2. For most cases, basic query will work, but the way to manage the object has changed. So you have to keep that in mind. I mean, you can notice there here when I was running. Let's bring it back in here. Oh, I cleared the screen. When I was running the object dot and put the property name of it on since version 3 and greater, is called enumeration. So if that particular property have more than one value, we'll list it. Okay. In version 2, it won't do that. You got to do a select and then the name of the property. So it's an extra step when you're running it on older version of PowerShell. Okay. So just keep that in mind. All right. Keep that in mind. So now from here, of course, I mean, you were able to move everywhere. Matter of fact, I know there is an S drive in here. Let's see what happened when I change to the S drive. There's a different drive. And as you can see, it's more my database drive. I may have a... okay. It's a good one is the server. This is my app server. So let's just go ahead. You can click exit. Complete that session. Now you can do PS version table. You can see I'm back to 5. Okay, so you do the enter PS session, name of the computer, you pass the credentials, it will connect to that computer, and you will be at that version of PowerShell. And then at the end, when you're done with it, you go ahead and type exit. It will get back to your normal desktop PowerShell session. Okay. Hey, you know what? Let's go gung ho in here. Let's try this. As you can see, I have all my with the up arrow. I can look back at my history of what I typed. Let's try this. I don't know if this is gonna work. We'll see. ISE. It might not work, but I just want to give it a try. Nope. Okay, that will not work. Okay, this is the newer one. Yeah. So you won't be able to run ISE from another computer. Okay. Let me go back. Exit. Well, now let's do this. I can do also type directly the name of the computer. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna connect to my SQL Server. I like to put it in double single quote, but here I'm gonna put the right. Use the same credential information. Let's see, let me connect. Okay, I'm there. And I'm looking for the SQL Server 1. There it is, SQL Server. I'm on the server box right now. And if I go to this has an S drive also. I'm at the server box database folder. To your session and keep working. So, so this is basically the essentials on how you can, move from your desktop to the server. Sometimes you might need to run that WinRM with a quick config, WinRM with a quick config in order to make sure that that option, that service is active on the server. And of course, your credentials, if you have the credentials to connect to that server for remote desktop, there's no need to use remote desktop if you want to script. So this is a good way to connect and search for information. So now that we know about it, I'm going to show you a sample script here. And this is just a theory, okay? But this is how this section of the coding here. What it's doing is we identify 3 servers we want to connect with. Okay, we got three servers, and we got to collect information. And we're going to use on the commandlets the computer name parameter to pass that information from the servers into the commandlet and start creating these objects. And eventually, this is 2 different objects that we're dealing here with. One is we're working with a Win32 operating system class, and the other one is a straight query because, of course, the ONMI you have a query language that you can use. And then what we do is we build these objects separately, and we consolidate them into what is called a PowerShell object. And this is the way to do it. Okay, this is how you build a PowerShell object. So one line at a time, or one computer at a time, is going to create this object. This new object, the type of object is a PowerShell object, PS object. we're going to create properties, and this is how we define that line that contains those properties with their value. There's no need to put single quote or double quote. This is the label of the property, and this is the value it's going to hold. And at the end, of course, this is a way to say, let's print that line, and it will be saved in this array. Okay. I don't know if you noticed that in order to make the code legible, I'm putting a tick. This is more likely is like on your keyboard, is on your first key. It's like I want to call it like a left accent maybe, but it's called a tick. And what this means is it continues in the following line. So I'm creating this object, this array object. This is the name, audit OS info equal, and it's a for each. The for each is for each computer list. My computer list was built before. Okay, it has three servers. So for each computer list, from each server in the computer list, it's going to grab the computer name, and that will get substituted in that computer name parameter. By the way, the semicolon means it's a terminator. There's a continuation and a terminator. As it comes also, this is done also in C#. That's why PowerShell is a little bit C sharpish. The for each is very similar to the for each in C# language. And then here we enclose. This is the end of the for each. And at the end, we can go ahead and create export that information from the PowerShell object into a CSV format, so that way you can open it in Excel. To give you an example of one, give information of one sample of a report that I created for this organization. I have it here, my temp. And I'm going to open one, and this was done in PowerShell. Besides the fact that I changed it after some colors and stuff, but you know, basically the information provided in here, it was done in PowerShell. And this is all through the export CSV part, and then you can open the file, and then you save it as an Excel format, and do all the formatting, you know, put in the colors and or you know, so you can have an idea. It's very PowerShell is a good tool for collecting information. Doesn't matter if it's just regular servers, services, disk space, or databases. It's a very good tool for. I mean, SharePoint, right? SharePoint. I mean, it's so much you can collect information out of SharePoint, and basically, this is a code that you could probably reuse. They say this will be your SharePoint server, and you go for each of the SharePoint server, and then this could be something you're pulling out from a .NET SharePoint object, and you want to mix and match different objects. Then this is how you can do it. You collect information individually, and then you match it. Okay, and then you build your PS object, and that's your consolidation of your information. I hope this helped a little bit. There's a technique in here that you also might find useful. It's like sometimes in this particular edit OS, which means comes from the Win32 operating system class, you'll see property content with a lot of information. Like you might have the operating system plus the edition plus something. In this case, this OS name is a long string, and I just needed just a piece of information. and using the .NET Framework split method, I just split that content and look for the first position after the split is done. So it's building an array. The split forms it builds elements. In this case, looking for the bar, the pipe, and grab the first position, which is 0, and give me the result. So you can be very savvy, very efficient with the different methods that the object provides to you. Replace, split, string. Matter of fact, let me show you. I think I don't have it in here, but let me bring let me have it in one of these. Okay. I'm sharing some little bits and pieces here of information. Database, get database. Yeah, that's it. Let me put it in here. This is a good example. All right. Report path, right? I'm gonna extract this and put it on the console because it doesn't need to be active, but it gives you an idea of what you can do. Okay. I'm gonna copy this. Copy again. Now here I'm building a report path variable containing my actual report path, but then I'm of course putting in the SQL Server instance name, which is going to be blank, right? But in fact, let's just go ahead and duplicate. Hold on a second. This is called one-liner anyway. So I'm going to do this equal get more live. And run the whole thing. And I'm going to display information for the report path. And as you can see here, it got my SQL Server name, use space, date, hour, minutes, seconds. So you can build your report name with the path and everything, date stamp. Okay? And this is all done by this technique here. And that is just only .NET. That's .NET working for you. Okay? It gets today's date, pass it to a string method, and this is the format that you want it to come out, which is going to comply with the way the file system accepts file naming. So just little things, is what makes you efficient when you want to build reports and do this type of date stamps and combination. Any questions? Jimmy, you still there with us?
Hey man, I'm here. This is Greg.
You just missed a good part.
No, I was watching. I came in a little bit late. Not too bad, but a little bit late.
So you got the part of the enter PS session?
Yes.
Because I was focused on the demo. I didn't realize you were there or not.
Yeah, I finally came in. I just lost track of time this evening. That's all. But I do appreciate what you've done. I will be reviewing this once it gets up on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to. Okay, yeah, problems getting. Oh, I'm so sorry, Jimmy. What's the last part you watched, Jimmy? I'll help you out. I'll be flexible here with you. Oh, that's why you never had the link installed. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, Jimmy's been participating here with us. I lost the other guy. Let's see. Yes, it is, but you know we can take advantage of this. I mean, it's my time, your time. You know, I'm glad to go through some areas that you probably have missed, and I know that Greg will love it too. Yeah, when I post this thing, YouTube, it's gonna be totally edited. Do you have any other question, Greg? While Jimmy finished typing.
No, I don't have anything else at the moment. Like I said, I will just need to review the session once you get it posted.
Okay, okay.
So
Well,
nothing for tonight.
yeah, we started doing the with the editors and Visual Studio and PowerShell Studio, which Jimmy is using also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I dove in a little bit into the solutions with Visual Studio, and then after that, then I started with the remoting piece.
Yeah, and that's about where I came in.
Okay.
Was the remoting, so that was good.
Okay. Yeah, because it's just you know this is just essential remoting, right? I mean, it's just this what gets you started. Uh, because the rest is just scripting, you know.
Yep, yep.
I mean, the commanders already give you the computer name parameter so you can connect to a server.
Right, right. Got that.
Yeah. So here Jim was saying he's having problem figuring out what assemblies to load in PowerShell Studio. Okay, when you're telling me assemblies, Jimmy, uh, what kind of assemblies you're talking about? Because PowerShell Studio comes with a default set of assemblies. You're talking more about SQL Server
I wish we
assemblies.
had more. And cigarettes and money and.
I'll be tap to answer next week, Greg. I spent, I did put 50 hours in the tank, right? Then you were trying to say I didn't, but I really did.
Okay, man. It's okay.
I mean, the 110 tomorrow would help me. I want 50 on the time. That's
Okay.
60 is gonna last me for
Jimmy,
next
okay,
month.
so Jimmy, what you need to do is assembly. Yeah, you need to. I'm gonna show you a. It's deprecated, but it still work because the other solution using AdLib. But let me show you my SQL Server code in here. And basically, what you do is here it is. This. You're using ISE. Oh, sorry. uh, yeah, ISE assemblies after initial run. Yes, because you need to you need to provide a profile. If you're using ISE, it's already a profile created for ISE. If you're using PowerShell Studio, there's a profile you need to create for PowerShell Studio. So you can duplicate the same. You can take the same script in ISE. Oh, hold on. Hey, Greg, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you can practically take the profile from the ISE. You need to rename it to a different file name in order to use with PowerShell Studio. Okay. Yeah, because it has different names for profile. So when you open PowerShell Studio, oh, you know what? Hold on a second.
It won't use the existing profile scripts. It'll read its own, or in addition to.
Oh, hold on. Oh, we lost Jimmy. He came back.
Oh, he's typing something.
Yeah. Oh, oh, you know what, Jimmy? Make sure that you look for the right client, because I know if you're using in case you're using the web, you're gonna have issues with Lync. Okay. Hey, and just to make sure you're trying to use PowerShell Studio, right, Jimmy? Okay, look on the screen, go to options, and you gotta look for assemblies, and in here you can add the assemblies for your session in PowerShell. I think that's another area you want to look into. I probably lost him again.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, it says typing, but you did that. So what error? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, let me see. I know this will work. I know this will work when you add the SMO stuff in it. I don't know if you need. Oh, you know what it is? I think you still need to. It is possible that you still need to use this line because it's there available, but this is how you load them dynamically. Do I make any sense?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? I wanted to see if I could actually use the mic.
There
Make it
you go.
easier.
Yay! Jimmy,
Hey.
use the mic. Yes.
So yeah, I didn't get that last part. What did you say?
Yeah, I think there's a possibility that you might need to use that piece on the option to load to make the DLL as available during your PowerShell script, but at the same time you might need to load them. You see the system.
I added it. Okay, doing a system reflection.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. I've never done that one before. I also added it under assemblies because there's an assemblies up top on the ribbon for the script itself. So I did it in both places. You see up top where it says under the edit parameters. There's an assemblies right there, up to the left.
I gotcha.
Right there.
Oh, it's the same. It's the same piece. Yes.
But that one does it. It's like it does it for the script itself.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, but it might be it does it for the script itself, but I think it might be for the purpose when you want to create the executable. That might be the difference.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, because I mean, that's why you might want to add. I've done it with SMO, with the Microsoft SQL Server SMO assemblies. I put them in there, create an executable, and it will keep it, in a machine that doesn't have any PowerShell, any SQL Server installed, because the assemblies are there already.
For some reason, every time I'm adding the assembly there, but it's not. I guess I have to add that system reflection. I guess maybe for it to.
Yeah, because it's there, knowing it's available, but you have to call it. You gotta load it. Yeah.
The problem is it works with like other ones. Like I know some of the system ones that are already there. I get the completion for the methods and the properties, but the ones that I'm trying to use, the AWS SDKs and the Citrix SDKs, they're not working for me for some reason.
Yeah, but and it could be, okay, it could be because it's already those systems already in the system itself, so it's just kind of a little redundant, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, but try it. If you still have problems, feel free to contact me. Also, Sapiens is very it interacts very much with with the people when they have issues and stuff. Okay, they're very proactive on that.
Yeah, I was gonna try to reach out to them because I've been using ICE for everything, and I really wanted to start using PowerShell Studio, and that was the one thing that's holding me back. When I'm working on scripts, I'm having to use both because, you want to use the completion.
Yeah, and also, yeah, let me check something here.
When you run the scripts, so like in PowerShell Studio, I noticed too, when you run the scripts, the variables clear out each time. So it's like only, so like with ICE, let's say I'm troubleshooting, I could highlight and just show the value of a variable,
Yeah.
As I'm troubleshooting or as I'm editing,
Yeah.
PowerShell Studio makes that stick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you highlighted and set the value of HTML fragments,
Yeah.
and then you did an F8 normally, and it would show the value.
I gotcha.
Like you could do that in ICE. That's the first thing I noticed different in PowerShell Studio. You basically have to highlight your whole script and just run it from the beginning, but it doesn't save the variables anywhere.
Oh, yeah, no. That is true. Well, but in that sense, I've seen when I'm working with Visual Studio, like this project that I was working on, and I had one. I think it's this one. This one will give me. Let's see. I think this one I got it. I got a debug on it. I used to have a debug on it. Let me see. There you go.
Yeah,
This
like
one
with
has
ICE, you could just continually be adding to your script, and then highlighting a variable to verify it real quick without running without setting the variable again.
Yeah. Ah.
Like I do that a lot as I'm writing, just to make sure, okay, the variable's right. Then I continue writing.
Oh, that's good, man. You're fishing on that part. I know I'm old school. I just run it. There's any problems, I just kind of know where it's at.
Yeah.
That's good. Probably you can give me a demo on that debugging with PowerShell Studio.
Right.
No,
I'm doing it in ICE now.
Oh, and on which one?
But then I said I'm doing it in ICE is how I do it. Is what I use to do it that way.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta check that out on PowerShell Studio, see if it shows the same thing.
Yeah, I wonder if there was an option somewhere, to do the same thing, because it makes it easier not having to run the script all the way from the beginning if the beginning part is right and you just continue going forward,
Gotcha. Is it, yeah, you're talking skip, like go next line.
Yeah.
Running on debug mode. Yes, gotcha. Have you tried this one?
No, I haven't tried that.
This might be it. This might my level of debugging is I kind of know my script very very well, and I know is something wrong because I typed wrong.
Yeah.
It's not that complex, and I should really take time. Oh, there it is. There's a step into breakpoint. See, so it should behave the same way. You see, step into up here.
Yeah.
And then breakpoints. I guess you got to set up breakpoints so that way it will go you can have a little more control of it.
Okay. I think, yeah.
All right. Hey, look, Jamie, feel free to join us every month. You have questions or you want me to try to show something, feel free to feel free to email me and I'll set up something. I mean, I'm trying to build my my Azure lab, so that way we have a little more true scenario of what we do at work. You know.
Yeah, no, next time I definitely will join you guys, and next time I'll have my thing working right from the beginning because I had problems getting Lync up.
Hey, no problem. Okay, I appreciate very much you showing up and feel free to shoot
Yeah,
me,
thanks for
ask
having me.
questions. You know, I'm here to help.
Thanks a lot.
All right, man. Have a good night. All right.
All right,
Okay.
thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
Bye bye.